It's 2 a.m. when they come for you. Not for anything you did, for something your uncle said about the government to the wrong neighbor. In North Korea, guilt travels through blood. It's called 3 generations of punishment. Your grandfather's crime becomes your father's crime, becomes yours. You are 19 years old, and you have just inherited a sentence you didn't know existed for words you never heard, spoken before some of your family was even born. There is no trial. There is no lawyer. There is a truck. And by sunrise, you're passing through a gate in an electrified fence in the mountains into a place that officially does not exist. This is your life at every stage of a North Korean prison camp. And here's the thing you need to understand before we start. The stages aren't ranks you climb. They're layers you sink through. Stage 1 begins the moment the truck stops.
The first thing they take is your name. You get a number. You get a uniform that was worn by someone before you. You try not to think about where they went. You get the rules, and there are only a few, and they all end the same way. Don't approach the fence. Don't speak to guards unless spoken to. Don't fail your work quota. The punishment for most things is the same, and it is not a warning. Your new home is a mud-walled hut you share with strangers. The floor is dirt. The heat is whatever bodies are in the room. And on the first morning, you learn the arithmetic that will govern the rest of your life. The food ration. A few hundred grams of corn and cabbage soup. A fraction of what a working body needs. This is not bad planning. It's the design. Hunger is the camp's real fence. A starving person doesn't organize. A starving person thinks about one thing. Within a week, you're doing what everyone does. Catching rats, insects, frogs. Anything that moves is protein, and protein is life. The first time, you gag. The 10th time, you feel lucky.
You are at the bottom of the bottom, but you're still thinking like an outsider. That's about to change. A month in, you are no longer a person who was arrested. You are a unit of labor. Your day starts before dawn. Mining, logging, farming, 12 hours or more, with tools older than your parents. The quota is everything. Meet it and you get your full ration. Miss it and they cut the ration, which makes you weaker, which makes tomorrow's quota harder, which cuts the ration again. Notice the trap. It's a spiral, engineered so that one bad week can become a death sentence with no one ever laying a hand on you. You learn the economy of the camp fast. A smuggled handful of corn is currency. Extra fabric is currency. Information is currency. And the most valuable thing you own is invisible. The ability to become boring. Prisoners who stand out get noticed, and nothing good comes from being noticed.
In the evening, there's ideology session. You sit exhausted while your loyalty is measured in how loudly you can recite. Then criticism session, where prisoners must accuse each other of the day's failures. Stay silent and you're hiding something. Accuse too well and you make enemies who sleep an arm's length away. This is the stage where most people's old self dies. Not dramatically, quietly. You stop dreaming about outside. The camp becomes the whole world. But if you survive long enough and keep your head down well enough, something strange happens. The system offers you a promotion. Every camp runs on a skeleton crew of prisoners the guards use to manage other prisoners, work team leaders, cell monitors, informants. One day, a guard who has never once looked at you says your number. You've been made a team leader. Slightly bigger ration, slightly warmer spot, and a new job. Making sure the people who sleep beside you meet their quotas, and reporting the ones who don't. Here is the coolest genius of the entire system. It doesn't just imprison you, it recruits you. Because now you face the arithmetic again from the other side. If your team fails, you fall back into the pit with them. If you push them, the sick one, the old one, the friend who shared his corn with you in your first week, you stay warm. Some prisoners refuse the role. Most don't. Hunger makes the decision long before your conscience gets a vote. You tell yourself you'll be a kind team leader, softer than the last one. And maybe you are, for a while. But the quota doesn't care about kind. And slowly you hear your own voice getting sharper. And one evening in criticism session, you hear yourself accuse a man of laziness. A man you know is just starving. Because if you don't offer the guards someone, they might choose you. That night, you understand something no documentary ever taught you. The camp's walls are the least important part of the camp. The real architecture is built inside the prisoners. Years pass. You stop counting them, because counting implies an end. You're a veteran now. You know which guards are dangerous and which are merely cruel. You know the seasons by which crops you'll be stealing glances at. You've survived accidents, interrogations, and 2 winters that killed people stronger than you. And if your camp is one of the revolutionizing zones, the ones with release dates, you might one day actually walk out, hollow and sworn to silence. But if you're in a total control zone, the sentence is the rest of your life, and everyone inside knows it. So what does a person live for in a place designed to erase them? Smaller things than you'd believe. A day the soup is thicker. A joke told in under 4 words because 4 words is what's safe. Some prisoners who were born inside the camps, and yes, children are born there, into imprisonment, inheriting it like eye color. Some of them grow up not knowing what the outside world even is. Defectors born in the camps have described learning about the existence of the outside the way you'd learn about another planet.
Read that again. The camp doesn't just take your future. For some people, it replaces reality itself. And yet, even here, even at this stage, there is one stage left. Because a small number of people have done the unthinkable. Almost no one escapes a total control zone. The fences are electrified, the mountains are patrolled, and the system's masterstroke, your family and your work team are punished for your escape. So every prisoner around you is your warden. But it has happened. A handful of documented cases, prisoners who got past the wire, over the border into China, and eventually out into the world, carrying the testimony that is the only reason you and I know any of this. And here's the detail from those accounts that will stay with you. The hardest part wasn't the fence. It was afterward. Learning that food could be shared without arithmetic, that a knock on the door could be a neighbor and not a truck. Survivors have described feeling guilt for eating a full meal years later in safety. The camp doesn't end at the fence. It follows you out, in your reflexes, in your dreams, at 2 a.m., the same hour they first came for you.
So that's the ladder. Arrival, worker, trusted prisoner, lifer, and for a very few, escape. Notice what kind of ladder it is. In most of our videos, you climb toward power. In this one, every rung just measures how much of yourself the system has taken in exchange for keeping you alive. These camps hold an estimated tens of thousands of people right now, not in history, tonight, while you're watching this. If this stayed with you, comment the stage you think you wouldn't survive. Most people say stage 3, and it's never for the reason they expect. Subscribe if you want more of these, because next we're going somewhere very different on the ladder. What your life looks like at every level of the Italian mafia. You've been listening. Now go appreciate your dinner.